Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Stummo98, and welcome to my Mastering Sonic P06 Silver Dusty Desert Beginner tutorial. Before you watch this video, I highly recommend watching my Mastering Sonic P06 Beginner Setup Guide, as that video outlines all of the miscellaneous tasks that are highly recommended to do before you actually start speedrunning Project 06. Additionally, I recommend watching my Mastering Sonic P06 Silver Movement tutorial, as that is an in-depth video covering every single ability and action that Silver, Amy, and Blaze can do. This video is going to be broken up into two segments, with the first segment just being raw footage. So if you just want to see the route, see the time that I get at the end of the route, and try to practice based off that, you can do that. The second part of this video is going to be a commentated run where I'm going to be pausing, rewinding, fast forwarding, and all that stuff in order to accurately explain what's going on in this beginner route. Without further ado, let's get started with Silver's Dusty Desert. Enjoy.
Just you wait, Iblis Trigger. I can use my psychokinesis to grab that robot's bomb and throw them back.
This ball counts down each time you touch it. Be careful carrying it. Leave this up to me.
Amy!
I feel it. Sonic was here.
While jumping, pressing the A button again will allow you to perform a double jump.
Gotta be a switch around here. Hey, how about going down? Now you can move on, right?
Thank you. If I'm not careful, I'll fall.
Attacks are useless while the shields are in place. Attacks when the defenses are down.
I might be able to make a path clean up if I use my power over there. Those enemies look like they're guarding that door. That's done. So I guess the lock will open if I put this ball in that hole over there. Great!
Yay!
Perfect!
All right, welcome to the commentated portion of the Silver Dusty Desert Beginner route. Let's go ahead and get started. So starting off here, we're just going to run forward and wait for this door to open, run against it, which can actually save us a little bit of time because Silver can actually start running and accelerate before the door opens. Then we're just going to jump in between all of these enemies and do a Psycho Shock, which is going to stun them all. And then I'm just going to spin my controller around in a counterclockwise fashion while holding RT and it's gonna pick up all those guys, and I'm gonna press RT one more time just to destroy them. That's what we call a little animation cancel. If that doesn't work for you, you can just double tap RT and the grab all. Use the grab all to do that. Moving on here, we're gonna spawn 4 enemies, all in the 4 corners of this billiards room. We're going to go to the right, destroy those guys first, do a teleport dash into a psycho shock, and do the same thing we did to those ball enemies, the egg crawlers. And now for the fun parts. So this is the first of 2 instances where you have the balls, the billiard balls in Silver's Dusty Desert. This first room isn't too bad. Where I'm standing right now looks to be about 5 tiles away from the wall. And that's pretty much where you want to start. And while the balls are falling, you can charge up a Psycho Smash. Now, the Psycho Smash, when you just press X, it is not going to hit the balls very far. But if you wait for the charge, which you can see here when Silver kind of blinks, just like that, he's going to launch the balls a lot farther. The reason we stand a little bit farther away from the wall than standing right underneath where the balls are falling is that sometimes you can do a Psycho Smash, and that is going to knock some of the balls back into the hallway they rolled out from, which we don't want to happen. Here, we just aim left first, hit those, and then this is just kind of a get the balls in as quickly as possible. Doing that initial hit there kind of leaves them all on this left side, but they can still be fairly unruly. Just try to hit them in the pockets as fast as you can. And then once that happens, we want to stand in front of the door and activate juice mode. Oops, sorry about that, little bit of a bright screen. We're going to activate juice mode or ESP mode, whatever you want to call it. And then we are going to run, do a spin jump into a badnik bounce, and then go immediately into a hover. Just like this. And then when we go into the hover, we're going to grab this capsule, which is going to refill our action gauge. And because we're in juice mode, we have 35% reduced psychokinesis cost, which is really nice. It's very important when you initiate the hover here, because if you initiate it too low, you'll just ram right into this platform. As you can see, I just barely had enough height there. This is going to take a little practice if you need a bit of a visual cue. It's kind of when you're right above that E-gunner there, that's to our right, or egg beetle or whatever it's called. You just need like Silver's feet to be a little bit above the circular part of its head there. So we hit that, and then we land on this platform as Amy warps in, and then we're going to do a teleport dash. Here we had a little bit of noise. We're going to do a teleport dash over to the switch, which is pretty easy, and then we're just going to head over to Amy. I hope you're excited to talk about Amy Rose, because this is her only playable appearance in the entire game, other than, of course, when the End of the World comes out. What we're going to do here is we're just going to jump across these platforms. If you fall in the sand, no worries. Amy is able to jump out of the sand just fine, thank goodness. Do the same thing we did with Silver at the beginning, just hold forward against that door, do some hammer jumps to increase some speed, and then for her fight room, pretty simple stuff. So when you enter this room, right before you run into this invisible enemy here, you want to activate your spinning hammer. Just like that, and you'll want to destroy both of these enemies and then let go of the B button so Amy stops doing her spinning hammer and she doesn't get dizzy. And now this egg walker here can actually spawn standing on top of one of these boxes. I have no idea why this happens, but it's kind of hilarious. When this happens, you just have to spinning hammer the box and then just use the spinning hammer over and over until it eventually gets destroyed. But it's kind of supposed to be on the ground at a little bit faster when it is so. And then finally, we're just going to use the spinning hammer to destroy that guy. Pretty easy. Now here is where you get to practice your hammer jumps. So we want to hammer jump right in front of that door. Just like this, like right about there. You're going to hammer jump there, so that way we can land again, do a jump to keep a little bit of our hammer jumping momentum. And we want to jump to the right of this platform, because as we turn left, we can actually do another hammer jump. You can see we have just a little bit of room there to do it, but it's a good place to practice. And then again, we're going to go to the left side of the next platform and do the same type of thing with a hammer jump. Just like that. And then we're going to hammer jump past this enemy. We don't need to kill it. It doesn't open anything. Do some double jumping over there, and then just do a one hammer attack to destroy that enemy. Gonna do some more hammer jumps in this next room. We don't gotta worry about destroying anybody. And now this is probably the most complicated part of Amy's portion of Dusty Desert here, is in order to get the double jump to have enough height to get up to that switch from the ground here, you have to initiate your double jump before the apex of Amy's initial jump. If you don't do that, she's just going to do a double jump and not quite make it up to there. So, as you can see, I kind of initiate my double jump right as I pass this line, this black line that separates the bottom stone from the top stone. And then just do a double jump, hit the switch. And then we're going to do a hammer jump right at this last ring. And while Amy is curled up in her hammer jumping animation, she can actually damage enemies. So we're just going to take that hammer jump and go all the way through that enemy to open that door. Moving on into this room, pretty simple. We're just gonna jump and then double jump just like that. No harm, no foul. Now with Amy, just one more hammer jump over to this door, gain some speed as it opens, and then we are done with Amy's section. Moving on here, we're gonna hit this checkpoint and then jump on these platforms. You can hover if you wish, but I wanted to make it as simple as possible. If the platforms are on a cycle where they're not out, as you can see here, I can just stand on the, I guess, little mouth of where the platform goes in and out from. And then we're going to hit this rune. For this next room here, we're going to do another teleport dash into a Psycho Shock like we did right at the beginning. And then grab all counterclockwise. You can go either way, clockwise or counterclockwise. I tend to go counterclockwise, though. Then these two big guys are going to spawn, and we're just going to Psycho Shock and grab them and destroy them. Now here, in this next room, at the checkpoint, we're going to do a teleport dash to this platform here. There can be certain cycles where the sand wave will be too tall and would push you off if you were to stand on it for too long. You can just hover above there if that happens for a little bit with the rest of your meter, and then activate the rune to make this platform go up. And then we're going to do a teleport dash into this capsule, which is going to restore our action gauge, and then just fly all the way to the end of this room here. Really nice. Next room here, what we're going to do is teleport dash over to this middle enemy. We're going to stand a little bit to the left of him, kind of in line where his left leg is, or I guess his right leg is. And we're going to juice up one more time, which is going to destroy all 5 of these enemies. And then we're going to move just ever so slightly to the right, because this enemy formation, I don't know if like the insignia on the floor is not centered, or like this enemy formation is just off, or what's going on with this room. But this enemy formation spawns a little bit to the right of Silver, so we just have to move to the right, so that way our Psycho Shock will shock all 5 enemies. Just like that. One more time, Psycho Shock. Go around, animation cancel, all that fun stuff. Now it's time for the ball puzzle. The ball puzzle is interesting, as I'm not quite sure how I want to go about explaining it. Essentially, if you need to, you can use your psychokinesis to stop the ball from moving. As long as you have meter and stuff, you're able to do that. So if things start going awry, get as close to the ball as you can, hold RT, and that'll hopefully stop it from jumping around, which you'll be able to see in a minute here. But generally, the best course of action is to wait until your Psycho Smash is fully charged. That way you can launch the ball as far as possible. In order to catch up with the ball here, I'm going to do a teleport dash, and because we're in juice mode, we can teleport dash quite a ways away. We didn't quite get the timing there, so I'm just going to wait until it hits the wall. And then right here is where I was talking about, a little bit panicked that it might fall into the pit there, so I held RT, which stopped the ball from moving. Very nice addition. Thank you, Chaos. And then we're just going to hit it against that slanted wall. Try to hit it against this slanted wall. Doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't go into the hole. And then we're just going to hit it in. Now, the ball will kind of like a flushing toilet, like go around and around this hole. If you want, you can get close to it and then hold RT to stop the momentum, and then it'll get sucked right in. And that is Silver's Dusty Desert. I really hope that this tutorial was useful for you, and if you enjoyed it, I recommend checking out some of my other stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.